Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
The following video happened in Colorado. It was late one night and Zane Eager's employee was moving a truck. He decides to snap some picture of the moon. And all of a sudden he feels as if the truck passes over something. He stops, looks back, and this is what he captures on camera.
How big the moon is, it's really big. Anyway, it's pretty cool. What the hell? No. No.
Thinking that he might have passed over a dog or something like that, he gets out of the truck to check it out and he sees nothing. Surprised, he goes back, and then this is when he sees what looks like a person on the rear view camera.
Nothing there.
It doesn't make any sense. He looks back, there's nothing, but when he checks the rear view camera, it seems as if there's a ghostly figure of a man standing there. Freaked out, he gets the heck out of there as fast as possible. From his reaction, I would say that this video is the real deal, but I want to know your thoughts. What do you think is really going on here? Could this be one of the best video evidence of the existence of ghosts and spirits?
It kind of looks like after he views the video screen and sees the guy standing up and then pans the camera around to reveal that there's no one standing there, it kind of looks like there's someone running towards the vehicle. So if that's the case, then there was really someone standing there. So I don't know if there is someone running at the vehicle or if this is actual paranormal activity caught on video, because I don't see how you could do this. I wouldn't think that it would be possible to put pre-recorded video on this screen. I don't see why they would have that feature.
Even more shocking is the end of a 50-year agreement between the United States and Saudi Arabia, which required the export of oil exclusively in US dollars.
Saudi Arabia has officially ended its 50-year petrodollar agreement with the United States, shifting to a multi-currency system.
The Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, has chosen not to renew the partnership with the United States, opting instead to open Saudi oil trade to other countries and other currencies. Hello, China. Hello, Russia. I mean, holy smokes, guys. I can't understate how big a deal this is.
Buckle up. Things are about to get fun. The petrodollar is no longer done in U.S. currency. This is going to be the end of the U.S. as a superpower. Inflation's about to go through the roof. Just be prepared as best you can, because things are about to get real interesting.
Think back to the last couple of months where we just see incident over incident about planes. Well, mostly they're happening upon landings. They have nothing to do with turbulence. Doors coming off and landing. Just this week, a plane in Chicago burst into flames on the tarmac. Here is this video. This is not turbulence.
You know, I'm having my peanuts looking out the window. You don't want to see that.
No, I don't.
Yet they're telling us that due to global warming, there's too much turbulence and it's not safe to be on these planes anymore. It has nothing to do with turbulence. It has everything to do with the fact that Boeing is clearly slapping faulty parts onto these planes and just rolling them off the factory floor like it's nothing. The most mind-blowing part about this Boeing thing is it doesn't seem like they're trying to fix it. It seems like even the government is assisting them in trying to actively sweep this under the rug. And that makes sense because they don't want us flying. They don't want us traveling at all. They don't want us flying. They don't want us driving. They want us to stay home and just be good little citizens. This makes perfect sense.
We have telekinesis. We have gifts within our mind and energy, within our consciousness, that are not fully unlocked and understood. It's like we forgot all those things. We are mysterious and we have all these gifts and we're powerful, but it seems like we don't remember any of it. And we have only bits and pieces. Like if I'm gonna go, give an example. This is really easy, everybody knows this. If I'm gonna go call you and I pick up the phone and I'm like, God, I gotta call Julian Dory, I gotta set up another podcast, right? And I'm like about to call and I put the intention out there. I'm gonna call Julian Dory, you're really gonna do it. You can't play with it. This is how it works. You can't be like, I might do that. If you set your intention on something like, I'm going to do this, and you pick up the phone, you're going to do it, a lot of times the person on the other end, and I know this happens to a lot of people, they'll be like, whoa, why did I just get a thought of Julian Dory in my head? And then the phone rings, and then it's you calling, or me calling, vice versa, right?
Yeah, the weird subliminal messaging.
What are you doing there? What's happening there? Break that down for me.
I think about that a lot.
It's because
I'm completely convinced that this is true. I think that we used to have the power of telekinesis, or the ability to communicate without words. And I think it's possible that we even had other abilities, like the ability to levitate things with our mind. If you think about our third eye, or the pineal gland, and all of the abilities that it unlocks whenever you're sitting and meditating, we used to be in more of a natural meditative state than we are now. We were closer to ourselves as people. We were more in tune with our body. Now, through fluoridation and other things, our pineal glands are all pickling, and nobody has these abilities, and nobody is in touch with themselves the way that they used to be. I think we likely had a lot of abilities that were lost through time due to manipulation and forced compliance. So that was Terrence Howard's linchpin flying device that can fly in any direction that he was talking about on the Joe Rogan Experience. And I put this in here because on Rogan he was showing 3D renderings of what it might look like for this thing to fly around. But there's actual video of this thing functioning the way he describes it. So I think this adds a little bit of validity to what he was saying on Rogan, that at least this one particular thing he was talking about, it's real. There's evidence for it. There's proof of it. I think that adds a little more validity to the other things that he was saying. But I wanted to put this in here to give pushback against the likes of Neil deGrasse Tyson, who made a response video to the Joe Rogan interview with Terrence Howard, claiming that Terrence Howard's essentially an idiot. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson's an idiot.
Many businesses are already making the move to digital only, no cash allowed, like this pub in Britain.
So you're the assistant manager in the pub in Winchester, and you're adamant that you can't take a national currency?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all I've got.
Okay, I'm afraid I can't tell you anything today then, unfortunately.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Even though I can personally sue you for up to £9,000.
We wouldn't be allowed to operate. We don't accept cash.
You're not allowed to operate. It's irrelevant. You cannot refuse legal tender.
I'm really sorry, no one will be served today.
You know, that girl was so smug too. You think this can't happen where I live because the people won't stand for it. But look at the little bit of power that girl's got and how she's abusing it. This is absolutely going to happen everywhere. And you're going to have people that fall in line just because they've got a little bit of power and they've got some control over you. So they're going to be able to turn you away. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. This girl's behavior is sickening to me. And people like that will be the reason that cash fails as a currency. They're going to fall right in line and help the government take control of every interaction you have. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I make a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
What I thought was maybe the war's gonna end. Maybe they're telling us the war's gonna end.
Why do you think they might want us to be scared?
Because because we don't look after the planet the area properly.
And Lily, is this an idea that you have had before, that we don't look after the planet properly in the air? Or did this idea come to you when you had this experience?
When I had this experience.
And how did that idea come to you from this experience? This is a little hard, but try to be with me here, okay? How did this idea come to you when you had this experience?
I just felt all horrible inside.
You felt horrible. At what point did you feel that? When you saw the craft, or when you got home at night? Or
when I got home.
You had that horrible feeling when you got home.
Yes.
And say more about that horrible feeling, Lisa. What was it like?
It was like the world, all the trees will just go down and there will be no air and people will be dying.
Mm-hmm. And those thoughts came to you, had you had those thoughts before this experience?
No.
No. And how did those thoughts come to you? Did they come to you from the craft or from...
From the man.
The man. And the man, did the man say those things to you? How did he get that across to you?
Well, he never said anything. It's just that the face is the eyes.
What was the sense you got from those eyes?
He was interested.
So that was an interview with one of the students at the aerial school that witnessed the UFO and saw the beings come out of the craft and stuff. I find this interesting because we've heard multiple stories of people talking about being abducted and being told that the reason that they're interacting with us or watching us is that we are destroying the planet, and they want to put a stop to that. They want to intervene and assist us in course correcting. I find it interesting specifically for that aspect of it, but I also thought it was interesting how she talks about that she feels like they put this idea in her head. They didn't say anything to her. She just stood there and shared a glare with them. No communication was going on, yet she received this. Going back to the possibility that we once had telekinesis, if we have the capability of receiving a telekinetic message, then why wouldn't we have the capability of sending one?
There's no doubt there was a cover-up. General Dubose, who was the Chief of Staff of 8th Air Force in July of 1947, told us flat out that the balloon explanation was a cover story.
In 1990, Dubose was interviewed at the age of 89. Under hypnosis, he recalled the events of July 1947.
The cover story, the balloon part of it, for the remnants that were taken from this location. And Al Clark took to Washington, and whatever happened to them then, I have no knowledge. But that's so deep. But that part of it was, in fact, the story that we were told to give to the public in the news, and that was it.
General Dubose also said that he was not supposed to discuss this event with General Ramey, the commander of 8th Air Force.
There was talk of some elements that had been found on the ground outside of Roswell, New Mexico. The debris or the elements were to be placed in a suitable container, and that Al Clark, the base commander at Carswell, would pick them up and hand deliver them to McMullen in Washington. And that was and that nobody, I must stress that no one was to discuss this with their wife, me with Rainey, with anyone. The matter, as far as we're concerned, was closed as of that moment, and that was it.
Why not if it's just a weather balloon? Even if it's a balloon assigned to the top secret Project Mogul, there is certainly nothing in the balloon array, there's nothing in the equipment that requires that high level of security. Why create this massive cover-up to do that?
So I've actually talked to people who think that Roswell is some big misdirect by the U.S. government and that nothing actually happened there. This is General Thomas Dubose, a general who was involved in the incident, who has come out and said on record that not only was the balloon cover story just that, a cover story, but also does so under hypnosis. That to me is enough evidence to show that it's not some big government misdirect.
Let's talk about one of my favorite conspiracies. What does a heart medication company, a pesticide, and dandelions all have to do with each other? Well, Bayer makes billions of dollars off of their heart medications. They own Roundup. Roundup is used to destroy dandelions. Dandelions are considered to be one of the most heart-healthy foods in the world. So a lot of conspiracy theorists believe that Bayer owns Roundup so that you'll kill this, so you have to keep buying that. But is it actually true? Aren't dandelions that healthy? vegetables. They are incredibly healthy. In fact, they're more nutrient dense than kale or spinach. They are considered to be a superfood, better than a lot of things that you grow in your garden. So why do we kill them? Marketing. We've been taught that they're weeds, and so we think of them as weeds. There's even stories about the Pilgrims bringing dandelions on the Mayflower, where they had limited space, and the only reason why they brought it is because of the natural healing remedies. Scientists are just starting to begin to study the effects of dandelions on our heart health, and the studies do look pretty promising. So is that why Bayer owns Roundup? First and foremost, I will never defend Bayer for anything. People know them for aspirin, but there's another drug that they brought to the market that was available over the counter. You couldn't get aspirin over the counter because of the gastrointestinal issues that it caused, but you could get this. Heroin. Thanks, Bayer. The story of how they brought it to the market is insane. Oh, look, here's a little ad. Susie has a stomach ache or a cough or something. I can't read this. And so mom's giving her heroin. Sweet, thanks, Mom. But to be fair, this isn't the first time that Bayer's been in the pesticide business. In fact, during World War II, they were part of a consortium called IG Farben that made pesticides. You want to know where they were used? Mustache Man's gas chambers. Yep. Thank you, Bayer. So why did they own Roundup? Well, they didn't just purchase Roundup outright. They actually purchased a company called Monsanto, or what a lot of people call Monsatan. Terrible products, lots of cancer, lots of lawsuits. Bayer purchased them as a defensive move, they say. They needed to buy them because there was a lot of consolidation in the market. The funny thing is they spent like $70 billion on Monsatan, and they're spending tens of billions every single year to settle lawsuits. So did they buy this so that we wouldn't have this, so that we have to buy that? Maybe. But they are losing billions and billions of dollars due to lawsuits because of products like these. Where do I stand on the conspiracy? I think it's just a little coinky-dink, but I'm happy they're losing money. Love you, bye.
So it's been a while since we've had a new conspiracy theory. I threw this one in here because I think this dude's onto something. It's not surprising to anyone, I would imagine, because we all know that pharmaceutical companies are doing bad stuff. They're doing more harm than they're doing good. Very, very interesting.
In 2023, a very strange phenomenon happened on the surface of our sun. It was captured by a NASA satellite, and you can see in this video very clearly. Pay very close attention. You can see it looks as if some sort of object attached itself into our sun. Whatever it is, it looks as if it's sucking our sun's energy. Some people believe it's a solar eruption, others think it's a UFO. But this isn't the first time this happens. In 2012, something very similar happened, but it was a bit different. It stayed there for about 80 hours. And after that, it simply went away, and it was all caught on camera. Pay very close attention. This is really, really weird. No one knows what this is. Pay very close attention.
That looked to me like some sort of a spacecraft absorbing energy from the sun and then carrying that energy away. You know, we've all probably heard science talk about in the future we'll have some device that can harness the energy from the sun. If they think that that's a possibility, that we'll be able to do that at some point, why would there not be an advanced civilization that has been around longer than us and is smarter than us and much more advanced than us who's already figured that out? That's what it looks like is going on. I don't know a whole lot about the sun as far as, you know, its behavior, so I can't sit here and say that that's for sure what's going on here, but that's 100% what it looks like.
All right, so we have to talk about this. If you're unaware, this is the public school grading scale in California, and this is insane. So according to the grading scale they're using today, 84 to 100 is an A, 64 to 84 is a B, 44 to 64 is a C, 24 to 44 is a D, and anything below 24% is a fail. And if this is how we're going to grade children today, let's just sell everything to China, because we're as a society. So I don't know about you, but as my name says, I'm an older millennial. I was born in 83 and graduated high school in 02. And when I went to school, this was my grading scale. The fact this looks like it was on parchment does not help my complex about being old. But regardless, let's look at the difference. So to get an A, I needed a 95 to 100. B was 88 to 94. C was 80 to 87. D was 70 to 79. 69 and below was failing. Which, let's be real, that means the only people that would be passing for my time is the people who are currently getting an A and about half the people who are getting a B. The other half of B, as well as everyone else, would have failed. And for me, on this scale, C is where it gets ridiculous. There are plenty of people out there in my time who were just C-level students. They weren't especially smart, but they also weren't especially dumb. For me, C was always just the average people. I figured that the average people were able to answer about 80% of the shit they learned correctly. But now you can get more wrong than you do right and still have a C. Like, you have to think, that's what 44% means. That means that of all the questions you were given, you got 56% of them wrong. You got more wrong than you did right, and you're still a C student. That is stupid. And D is even worse, because getting a D in California means that you got 76% of everything wrong, and you're still going to graduate. You have to get 77% of everything wrong to fail. Here's the thing, I don't ever want to work with someone who got 77% of everything wrong. I don't even want to work with somebody who got 56% of everything wrong. Right now in California, these are graduating high school. This is the future generations of our society. We are going to have a generation of people in this country who are graduating high school and college while getting 75% of everything wrong. And that is horrifying.
And that's why you need to pull your kids out of school if you've got the ability, because they are intentionally making everyone dumb. Whenever I was going through school, this was the same way that my grades were. And now it's not as bad here where my kids go to school as it is in California, but they're absolutely trying to dumb us all down and make us stupid and make us not capable of doing anything for ourselves. You watch these Real Men on the Streets videos where guys just go out and ask random questions to people on the street. You can see very, very quickly the public school system has been failing us for a very long time. There are people out there that don't even know how many continents we have. It's ridiculous. I get some of those are being asked a question on the spot, and so you kind of fumble through your mind of, oh, I know this if you'd asked me any other time, but now there's a microphone and a camera in my face, so I'm going to look like an idiot. I get that happens, but I've seen a compilation video of people who don't know what a pickle is before it's pickled. They don't know that it comes from a cucumber. I feel like that's not information that you would forget just because you're being put on the spot. We're being intentionally dumbed down.
The world's most valuable company, Apple, seems to have copied directly out of this playbook. I mean, new styles every year? Check. New special colors every year? Check. Marginal technological improvement? Check. I mean, is this useful innovation or just a gimmick?
Henry Ford released the first mass-market car, the Model T, in 1908. And he envisioned it like a workhorse, an affordable tool that wouldn't wear out. In 1922, Ford said, "We want the man who buys one of our cars never to have to buy another. We never make an improvement that renders any previous model obsolete." But by 1920, 55% of American families already owned a car. Nearly everyone that could afford one had one. And that same year, there was a small economic downturn driving down sales for both Ford and General Motors. In 1921, DuPont, the chemical and paint company, took over the controlling share in General Motors, and they started experimenting with painting cars different colors. It took a couple years of testing, but in 1924, GM released their first cars in different colors, and soon after, they introduced a trick that feels very familiar now. Each new year, they would introduce cars in different colors.
The goal wasn't just to make Ford's Model T look outdated, but to make their own cars feel outdated every year, encouraging customers to trade in their old cars for shiny new ones. Years later, GM's head of design Harley Earl candidly discussed his role in creating what he called dynamic obsolescence. Our big job is to hasten obsolescence. In 1934, the average car ownership span was 5 years. Now, which was 1955, it is 2 years. When it is 1 year, we will have a perfect score. By the time he said this, General Motors was the most valuable company in the world, and it sold half of all vehicles purchased in the US every year. These days, the world's most valuable company, Apple, seems to have copied directly out of this playbook. The inspiration for General Motors, and hence for Apple, comes from fashion, where real innovation is all but impossible. So the only way to make people feel the urgency to get out there and buy is to create styles that last but one season. The trouble then is you run through these styles too quickly, and then what are you supposed to do? Well, just recycle the styles from a few decades ago. The iPhone also shows this recycling trend. I mean, just look at the way the edges were initially rounded, and then they were squared off. and then they were rounded again, and now they're squared off. I think the point is that with design and styling, there is no best. There's only different, which is apparently enough to remind us that we don't have the latest and greatest, and so we have to rush out and keep buying.
Planned obsolescence. That's every product that we get fed to us is all planned obsolescence. Everything's made to last just long enough until they come out with a new version of it. We were just talking about a couple videos back about planned obsolescence, and this right here just shows it's been going on since the days of the Model T. It's not accidental obsolescence. It's planned. They're absolutely trying to make sure that they build a product that is only going to last you a certain amount of time, so you have to go out and replace it. I'll give you a good example. My house was built brand new in 2018 with all new appliances. It's just 2024, and I'm fixing to have to go buy a new dishwasher because it's completely falling apart on the inside. All we do with it is wash dishes. We don't take it out and beat it with a rake or anything like that. It's just used to wash dishes, and it's just completely falling apart on the inside. And it's a GE dishwasher. It's a name brand dishwasher, but everything is designed to fall apart after a short period of time, so you have to go out and buy another one. Guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these videos we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Don't forget to come back and join me. Don't forget to go to www.barry-stepp.com and order yourself a shirt or a hat. I'll greatly appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone that's ordered one so far and helped me support the channel. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope everybody has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.